All right, lesson 84, increases in percent, increases in percent. We've done these two circles here, divided, but now we're looking at percentages that are over 100%. Usually we had something that looked like this, the of, the is, it's divided up, and these two percentages added together equal 100%. But what happens if we have something over 100%? Well, then we're going to look at something called a one-part diagram. What I just showed you is a two-part diagram. Now let's take a look at a one-part diagram. Okay. Example 84.1. To their dismay, the townspeople found the rodent population had increased 140%. Ugh. If the rodent population had been 400 before, what was the rodent population now? So this is tricky in one sense. If it was at 100% previously, okay? And numerically, that answer was 400, okay? Now, it increased an additional 140%. The percentage I'm going to use for my sentence to solve is actually going to be 240%. I know in the sentence they said 140%, but the tricky part is after the 140% they said increased, okay? Increased 140%. So now the new number is 240%, okay? So whenever you see the percentage of 100 and something percent, and you're solving, you always increase an additional 100%. It was already 100% when it was 400 rodents. Now it increased 140% on top of it, okay? So the number is 240. So a little bit of a trick there, okay? So let's write out a sentence. They saw their rodent population increase 140%. If the rodent population had been 400 before, so we're going to do 400 times 240% equals what number? The good news is once you solve this, there's no subtraction involved, you just have your number. And actually, it's going to be a one-part diagram, so it kind of looks like this weird peanut, okay? The of number is still on the left, the is right here, but there's not two levels, it's just simply that number, okay? So that's, I need to change this into percentage, or into decimal number. So I have 400 times, decimals over here, goes over two spots to the left, 2.4 equals what number, okay? So, not that tall. 2.4 times 400, 16x 8 0069, decimal over one spot. My new number should be 960. So the times 240, so the of number is going to be the smaller number, okay? So perhaps I should have wrote it 2.4 of 400 equals what number? Because this is the number I want to put down here, say of 400. When my percentage is over 100, the number over here will always be bigger than the number over here. Usually it was the opposite, because when it was 50% and this number was 200, then 50% was 100. That 100 is smaller than the 200. But if I'm increasing it, my number over here is actually going to be bigger than my of number, because it's over 100%. So of 400, and I'm going to say 240% is 960. Notice the 960 is bigger than this number, okay? Let's go ahead and try practice A. I want you to pause the video, do practice A, and then unpause it, and we'll see how you did. Okay, letter A, the number of acorns on the ground increased 240%. So that's really 340. It's a secret. If the 5,400 acorns were on the ground before the storm, that's important because that means I can multiply those two. How many were on the ground after the storm? Okay? So I'm going to say 5,400. No, I'm going to change it around a little bit. Let's write the percentage first. 340% of 5,400 equals what number? Because they're asking how many were left at the end of the storm. There were already 5,400 on them. Well, who's counting them, first of all? There was 5,400 already on the ground. So let's change it 3.4 times 5,400 equals what number? Okay, so I don't divide anything. It's just like saying 3 times 4 equals what? Well, don't divide both sides by 4. Just go ahead and solve. Okay, so now it is 3.4 times 5,400, 0, 0, 16, 5. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. X, 0, 0, 12, 5, 15, 16. 0, 0, 0, 3, 8, 1. Okay, so I've got 18,300. 18,300. Okay, and let's see if that number's right before we draw a diagram. 84A, 18,300. And I thought that was a 6. 60, like I said, 18,360. Okay? So I've got my of number over here, which is the of 5,400. And then my one part diagram, my peanut, I'm going to have 340% is 18,360. Again, remember my larger number's over here, because my smaller number got increased by percentage over 100. Okay, now I want you to pause it. You got it wrong, rework letter A. If you've got it right, let's move on to letter B. Solve B, pause the video, and we'll take a look. Okay, letter B, a number increased from 40 to 280. What percent increase was this? So tricky. What percent increase was this? Okay, so let's see here. 40 to 280. So what percent times 40 equals 280? Right? What percent times 40 brought it all the way up to 280? Obviously, 100% times 40 is 40. So 280, your 100% is going to be a lot bigger. Okay? So this one's tricky. So what percent times 40? I'm going to divide both sides by 40. So what percent by itself? 40. What percent equals, if I solve this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get 70. But let's see here. 280 divided by 40. 40 goes into 280 7 times. Okay? So you're going to have an answer of 7. And you're thinking, Brother Brian, that doesn't look like a percent. Well, when you used to solve percents that were less than 100, you divide and get like 0.35. And you're like, oh, okay, I know what that is. That's a 35% because I'm so smart. What'd you do? You took the decimal, moved it over 2 spots. Remember, if a percent's 100, you may see a 1.00 or just a 1 in your division answer. Realizing there's a decimal, it still needs to go 2 spots to the right. So it's 700% the total one. Remember when we added 100% earlier to figure out the sentence? They gave us the sentence and already said it increased this much. So what I need to do is subtract 100 out of this. And although this is 700, it's now 700% of what it used to be. So remember, it was 100% already. Then it increased something, and the total was 700%. What did it increase? It was at 100, it got to 700. So when they're asking specifically what percent did it increase, well, it increased 600%. It's a toughie, but that's how you solve it. That's lesson 84, increase in percent.